Tommy, welcome to Coffee and Tea with CarrieVee.
Carrie, we've had so much fun already. I am so happy to be here and humbled to be here. Let's do this.
Yes, sir. I am happy to have you here. So our listeners want to know, what is bringing that big, beautiful smile to your face today?
My entire team here is at our office, and anytime I get to spend quality time with these beautiful souls, it just fills me with gratitude. And we start, just real quick, every morning with gratitudes for each other and some morning wisdom. So it's a great way to start the day, and we got to do it in person as a team. So that makes me really happy.
Oh my gosh, you're speaking my love language, bringing up gratitude. That was my first book that I wrote, was a gratitude journal, because my clients were like, okay, we want gratitude. How do we start it? So thought, well,
tell me how to be grateful.
And help you out. I can help you out. It can be hard, right? There are days where you get up and you're thinking, how do I be grateful today? So if somebody asks you that, how do I be grateful when my life feels like it's imploding? What's your words of advice for them?
As long as it's not, even when it is a terminal illness, because I just had experienced that in my family.
I'm so sorry.
When you wake up on this side of the dirt, and most of us are in a very free country, you've already won the day.
Yes.
And as long as it's not something that, what you find is, though, that people who do have terminal illnesses find that gratitude, they find that appreciation. But if it's a family issue, a relationship issue, a business issue, a money issue, nothing can't be overcome.
Yes.
And as long as, again, you've got breath in your lungs, you've woke up and you get one more day. And if you don't look at the entire war that you're fighting, because a lot of us are in wars right now, it could be financial, and you just focus on one battle at a time and show up the best you can and do the best you can and see why this is happening for you and not to you. And what can you learn from this? Like, every painful situation has a light at the end of the rainbow. And the crazy thing about life, it is a combination of light and dark, of pain, of fear, of love, abundance, and all the above. And you can't have love and abundance without fear and pain, right? And so, but as long as you wake up and you have breath in your lungs, you get one more day to show up for yourself and just be a little bit better than you were yesterday. And if you really look all around you, there is goodness, love, and learnings all around you. So it's just a matter of mindset. And for me, you're talking about a guy who struggled with being grateful for 36 years. And I've figured it out the last 13 is, even when I get up, the first thing I say is thank you.
Yes.
And this is a little woo-woo, but then I look to my left and I actually have someone who loves me as well. So I get up way earlier than she does. So I say thank you to her. And then I'm telling you, for years I did this. I don't do it much anymore because I go straight into my intentions. But I would literally, as I walk to the restroom, and yes, all of us go to the restroom first thing in the morning. That's how we're built. So let's not take ourselves too serious. But as I'm walking to the restroom, I would literally go, thank you, thank you, thank you. And it was just a way of, it's not that people are bad and they're overwhelmed or they think negative or they're judgmental. It's just in our eyes and ears constant. Yes. And if poison's going into our eyes and ears constant, whether it's social media or the news we watch or the TV we watch, it's hard not to be negative. It's hard not to get overwhelmed. But anything that's wired into us can always be unwired. And so I had to spend years unwiring that negative voice in my head, unwire that story I was telling me, and rewrite a new story of gratitude, abundance, and goodness. And so it took me a long time to do it, but I'm telling you, if this guy can do it, anybody can do it.
That is fabulous. I'm envisioning myself walking, saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, like a train, right? And you pick up momentum, and it does. You really do pick up momentum to where your brain immediately goes to that gratitude when you wake up. I do the same thing. I will say, kind of whisper, because I'm the first person up in our house too. Whisper those gratitudes. Sometimes I write them out. Often I write them out. And then I immediately move to a prayer for what is the one thing I can do today to move my life and my business forward. And it's always there. That answer's always there.
I love that.
But that's taken years and years of discipline too.
Same here. I'll give you some behind the scenes, because I came from the world of big business, and it was just so stressful, and people are so angry and so competitive.
Yes.
And I would tell you, I would not only do it when I get up, I would do it every time I walk to the bathroom at work. Thank you. Thank you. And this is weird because I was working on rewiring my brain from fear to not good enoughs to insecurity to anger to like love and seeing the good and courage and confidence. I'm literally like, the people I work with probably thought I was crazy. I would literally look in the mirror after washing my hands and go, "Hey, I love you, man."
Oh, I love it. I love it. You were high-fiving yourself.
Yes. They probably thought he's the most arrogant human being I've ever met. But it was actually a selfless move of, hey, maybe one day I'll actually believe that.
Yes. Yeah. But how wonderful that you gave them that example.
Yeah.
How
No,
many
totally.
people, coming from a corporate world myself, how many people never, ever believe in themselves?
Oh, and I think it's taught to us.
Yeah.
And I think it's unconscious and sometimes conscious.
Mhm.
I think what the mass media is doing right now is very intentional and it's very conscious because it sells advertising, right?
Oh,
They
yeah.
want us to be angry and divided and scared and worried and just watch them. So they want to create an enemy. That's very intentional. But I think the unconscious messaging we get, whether it's from a parent or church or school, or just it's unconscious that it's
Yeah.
death by a thousand cuts. And then now in a world where we're constantly comparing ourselves, it's 24/7 live updates on social media. It's hard not to feel less than sometimes or insecure, not Instagram fabulous or LinkedIn successful. And really at the end of the day, if we step back, if we feel it, if we're experiencing it, if we're insecure about it, or what if they really know the deepest, darkest secrets in our brain? Millions of others feel the same way. And
So
I think what
true.
we're craving right now is authenticity and
Yes.
connection, because
Yeah.
we're not alone in our struggles. We're not alone in our insecurities. We're not alone in our fears. I have multiple businesses we're running with employees, and there's not a week goes by that I don't stare at the ceiling and go, "My God, can I do this?" I mean, every week, "My God, can I do this?"
Yeah. Yeah.
So we're not alone is what I'm telling people, is no one's
Yes.
alone in their struggle.
And we were never meant to do this alone.
No, no.
But so many of us get into this hyper independence mode. Why do you think we do that? Why do you think many, many people hop into that hyper independence mode of, I don't need anybody, I can do this myself?
Yeah, it's a real epidemic, isn't it?
Yeah, it
And I
is.
struggle with that as well. When I get
Me too.
scared or insecure, or I call it the Tommy go round. My wife calls it Ike. So they nicknamed me not Tommy, but Ike. That's my alter ego.
Okay.
When Ike gets really, really loud, I isolate. And for me, isolation is the enemy of excellence. But what's
Mm,
incredible is if it's fear, right? We're scared of what other people will think. We're
yeah.
scared of not having the answers. We're scared of the unknown. And it's just fear.
Mm,
But what I found is if I step through that fear and I call one of my members of my inner circle who really want to make me happy, make me better, and who love me unconditionally, and just say, "Hey, I need your wisdom and I need some help." 99 out of 100 times, people want to help you. 99 out of
yes.
100 times, I realize I'm not alone and that other people have dealt with this. And I'm not seeking advice, I'm seeking wisdom. And wisdom comes from experience. And I find that when you say, "Hey, I'm struggling with this thought," or "I've got this business issue I'm dealing with," or "Man, my wife and I don't know why she wants to stab me in the eye," and you seek help from those who you love, who you got to be careful though. You got to make sure they're loving, abundant, want to make you better, help you type people.
Yes.
But if you have those in your life and you ask for help, what you realize is A, you're not alone. And B, if we already had the answers, we'd have done it already. And so when we isolate, and a lot of entrepreneurs and business people isolate because we don't want to show weakness, right? That would be, we can't do that. We've got to be LinkedIn successful. So what I found though is that I step through that fear and seek wisdom, seek help. And part of my whole business is, please don't walk business in life alone. Find your tribe of like-minded people who are core value driven, who can have authentic, real conversations, but can help lift each other up, not only in business, but in life. And so it's fear and stepping through it and asking for help. And then you feel like, why didn't I do that all along?
Isn't that the truth? So you made a comment, and I've been taking notes. So when I look down, honestly, I'm not being rude. I'm trying to glean all of your wisdom. So, and I'm going to pop this in here because I get Tommy's emails And I know at the end, when we ask him how we can find him, he's going to tell us how you can get in on those emails. Guys, you need these emails in your life. They are fabulous. Short reads.
Very short.
Which I love, because, you know, I open it up, I can read it all. and it's like a shot of adrenaline for my soul, positivity. They're wonderful. I look forward to them. So,
Call
but
it the legendary minute, but really it's 30 seconds.
it really is. And it's awesome. It's fabulous. But you mentioned two things that I wanted to just kind of circle back around. One, you mentioned the word intentions. We kind of breezed over that now you go into intention. So I'd love to hear more about that. And then you talked about finding someone and making sure that that person that you go to for that advice and wisdom is someone with that love and abundant mindset. Many people don't have that in their lives and they don't know how to find it. So I'd love your viewpoint on how do we go find that when it's a lot of us are, even in our own houses, are the only one in our house trying to make a difference in ourselves.
Yeah, I love that. Great question. And the answer is not the second. We'll start with the first one. We'll go first.
Okay.
Intentions for me, and this is what intentions mean to me. So I write them and I say them.
Okay.
My intentions are the things that I am working on right now. And I'm going to give you the ones that I wrote today and I say out loud. But let me tell you how I do it, because it's really critically key. I say, thank you, Tommy, as if I'm already doing it.
Okay.
So what does that do? That's gratitude, it's appreciation, and it's self-love. I'm not doing them yet. It's intentions that I want to do. So think of intentions as goals.
Okay.
But remember, intentions without actions and actions without intentions are useless. So you want all of your intentions to have an action and you want all of your actions to have intentions. So let me give you a few of mine. Thank you, Tommy, for being a loving, present, patient husband. Thank you, Tommy, for being a loving, patient, present husband. So what I'm doing is I'm thanking myself, I'm writing it down. And then all of a sudden, one day when my wife is frustrating me or she's doing things not at the speed I want to, or I'm just getting in the Tommy go round, I pause. Because I've written it so much, I've read it so much. So I'm unwiring my subconscious and wiring it to that patience, that presence, abundance. And what happens over time is I write these intentions and I read these intentions. Eventually it unwires my subconscious, because it's getting a little technical, but our subconscious drives the ship. 95% of the things we do and think every day are the same as yesterday. It's because our unconscious drives the ship. So you got to unwire that. It's like saying, okay, I don't want to eat that pint of ice cream, but then I go eat that pint of ice cream. It's because your subconscious is driving the road. So what we got to do is unwire that. It gets a little technical, and I'll give you one more that I'm working on right now.
Okay.
Thank you, Tommy, for prioritizing joy, laughter, and smiling. Thank you, Tommy, for prioritizing joy, laughter, and smiling. Because I'm an intense guy. I work in an intense business. I help, a lot of humans make big business and life decisions.
Yeah.
And so I carry a lot of load, and I'm helping myself also make business and life decisions and feel the same pressure. That I'm not enjoying the journey. I'm not laughing as much as I used to. So what I'm doing, again, thanking myself. That's self-love. It's gratitude and it's appreciation for me, because a lot of us struggle with self-love. So it's a rewiring. And I'm thanking myself for something as if it's already happened that I'm working on.
Okay.
And what'll happen is over time, that small daily habits like this is we're unwiring and rewiring. And it's amazing how over time they just happen in my life. So that's question one. You want me to do question two?
Go for it. Go for it.
All right. Question two is a little bit different. The first thing I would say for question two is, hopefully you're not this person. I'm going to tell you, at one time in my life, I was that person. Unfortunately, we attract into our life what we are. And so, because everything's energy, our thoughts are energy, the way we carry ourselves is energy, and certainly the words that come out of our mouths are energy. So I'm going to be brutal. If you are a judging, angry, insecure, judgmental person, you're going to attract that into your life. But I want to tell everybody it's not your fault. And I'm not a victim person. However, that stuff is bled into our eyes and ears through media, through news, through movies, through shows. And so we can't help but to feel that way. So I'm going to give you the first 2 steps to attracting goodness into your life. Number 1
Okay.
is kill the fat noise that's everywhere. Kill the noise. It's everywhere, and replace it with goodness. So instead of watching 3 hours of Netflix, maybe listen to this podcast. Instead of listen to a great inspiring book or a biography, or sit around a fire, or go to dinner with a friend, journal, meditate, walk, exercise, do something fun, but replace all that negativity in your life, whether it's media, social media. Limit it, because it's really, you can't have poison enter your eyes and ears and not be poisonous. So that's number 1. I'm telling you how to attract people in your life. Number 2 is you got to fire all the negative Nellies around you. You got to fire them. So if there's people in your life that suck out your soul when they text or call you, doesn't mean you don't love them.
That's right.
It just means it's time to let them go over time.
Yeah.
And don't feel that shame monster that you've got to respond, because you have to participate in your own rescue. You've got to be the captain of your ship. And if you hang around with negativity or judgments or insecurity, you're going to become that. So that's the first 2 steps.
Okay.
Third step
Got
is
it.
you have to start working on you. You've got to work on your courage, your humble confidence, your self-love, your self-respect, your self-leadership, and you've got to work on your self-awareness. That takes time. So the first 2 are hard, but you're eliminating the negative. Now you're adding the positive.
Right.
And what happens when you start working on yourself, I'm talking about your heart, mind, and soul muscles, you literally start standing differently. You start talking differently. You start going from fear to abundance. You start going from anger to peace. And now life's a journey. You're not always going to be as good as, it's ups and downs. But what you want to be is on the side of good more than the side of darkness. And what happens over time is you start speaking a different language, start vibrating differently. Then all of a sudden you're at a dinner and you can spot somebody just like you. And you'll say, hey, say that again. And then all of a sudden you become friends. What happens is we attract into our lives. So it's not that you can just go out and say, hey, are you an abundant person? Hey, are you an abundant person? Because everybody's going to say yes. So what happens is you got to eliminate the negative and start working on you. I'm talking heart, mind, soul, and body. Less than an hour a day, compounding interest. I'm telling you, from business success to financial success to life success, if you work on you less than an hour a day, and I don't want to plug it, but my book is a simple playbook that has a gazillion little executable tactics to go do it. It's called Legendary. We'll talk about that later. But if you work on yourself for an hour a day, you start feeling differently. You start attracting things differently. You start getting more of a grateful attitude. You have more courage. You have more confidence, more self-esteem, more self-respect. You start attracting those humans in your life. And by the way, you start repelling the others. Here's the downside is you're going to start getting haters. That means you're doing something right. When you start having haters, you're winning. You're winning.
Why are those haters coming?
The haters are there because pain loves pain. And the people who were in your life who don't want to get out of that pain, who want to live in judgment, who want to live in cynicism, who want to live in anger, who think it's the government's fault or this politician's fault or that, they're victims or entitled. Those are sisters, by the way.
They sure are. Yes.
They're sisters. And so people who haven't worked on themselves are going to hate you for being happy. And people in a pit want to pull you in the pit. And you can't lay down with pigs without getting dirty. So the people in it, it's not that they're bad people, they're just unconscious.
Right.
So what happens when you work on yourself, you're going from ignorance to awareness. And here's the problem with awareness. Once you know, you can't unknow. So it's that at that point, you've got to decide, do I want to transform or not? And most people get stuck at awareness and don't take the actions to transform, to hopefully to go to mastery and leadership. But a lot of people, pain likes pain, anger likes anger, and darkness like darkness, and they want to bring you down because they want you to be like them. And that's unfortunate.
Wow. All of this, my head is spinning with all of this that you just said. I mean, I'm glad we went there, because this is something that a lot of people ask me in client calls or in when I do hot seat coaching is, well, I live with this person who is incredibly negative. What do I do? And and you said you started off with, I hope you're not this person. I was once. So was I. The most negative person, just,
Me too.
oh, horribly. And when I decided to change and start working on me, reading books, listening to podcasts, listening to whatever I could find my hands on, going to events to meet people who were acting the way I wanted to be, I worked on me. I didn't work on anybody else in my house. I didn't tell them they needed to do it with me or even ask them to do it with me. I just worked on me. And as I worked on me, this beautiful thing happened in that they all started to say, what are you doing differently?
Mm.
And it took a
Rising
long time.
tides. Rising tides bring all the ships up. And I think you
Yeah.
made a great point. And I definitely want the men out there to listen to this, is you can't fix someone else. The only thing you can fix is yourself. Same thing with men and women.
Yeah.
And what I've found is you can't shame or should somebody into changing when really the only person you can change is yourself. And I want
Yes.
everybody to know that look in the mirror, that's the problem and the solution. And
Mm.
chances are, if you feel like your family's negative or your spouse is negative or your friends are negative, look in the mirror first, because I promise you, you're probably negative as well. And again, I think that's a great point. Is the only person you can do is you.
Yeah.
And what happens when you start walking the walk, you start vibrating differently, you start talking differently, you start treating yourself and others differently, that's contagious. And if there's true love in the household, the people around you are going to want to catch whatever that is. And you and I both know there's no drug or there's no get it done fast scheme.
Right.
However, the same thing happened in our family. Is once you start climbing the mountain and your view changes and your language changes and your energy changes, that's addictive or repelling. Yes. And they'll start asking you, what are you reading? Or here's what I do with my wife. 80% of the mornings when I'm not traveling is I read our daily readings to her. And so we do it as a couple.
Yeah.
We do gratitudes as a couple. We do gratitudes as a team, and it gets contagious. Goodness is contagious.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the kind of a drawback is as your language changes, you can still speak the other language. You just don't want to.
Right. That's right. No, it feels
they just
like,
can't speak yours.
That's right. That's right. But it feels so foreign then when you try, even, if you try to like slip back into it, or if you try to not try to slip back in it, but if you find yourself slipping back in it, it feels so foreign that you just want to shake it right off as soon as it comes across your path.
Completely.
Right.
Because I love go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you go ahead. No, this is your show.
Thank you. You're being so kind. I have a joke. It's a terrible joke, but I love the joke nevertheless. It's if you look around your family and you can't find the crazy person, you're it.
That's a good.
And I was it. And I just needed to look in the mirror and go, okay, the data is saying that everyone else is running out of your life, and the only consistency here is you, man. So, so you got to do something about this.
It's so, I can't believe we're already at 23 minutes. This went so fast. What really precipitated my journey was my husband saying to me one night, I was complaining bitterly about my most recent corporate job. And I was always in upper management. And he sat down and he looked at me. We had dinner in front of us and he said, it's the same conversation we had about the last two companies you worked for. And the only thing that's the same is you. And I was just like, ouch. But he was right. And he didn't say it out of a place of, hey, I think you should go change. He was just freaking frustrated with me.
Yeah.
Like, is every company in the world horrible and they're all going to do this to you? Or are you letting them do it to you?
Some real wisdom there.
Yeah. Yeah. And
that's what I call the punch in the mouth moments. I'm like, don't be mean to me. That's my job.
I know. And I mean,
but they're right.
Yes.
They're right.
And I don't think he realized the impact that was going to have in the change over the next few years that were coming.
How beautiful is that? And
then he decided, gosh, I'm coming along. I like this version. I want this version too. And that's exactly what you are doing with everything you are doing, the emails, the books, the retreats. So tell everybody, how can we find you?
I'm going to give you my team wants me to give you a phone number, but the phone number is too complicated for me. So I'm going to call myself out here. I'm going to give you my personal email.
Okay.
It's Tommy It's Tommy@livelegendary.today. Tommy@livelegendary.today. And Tommy@livelegendary.today. And I'm going to give you the phone number so my marketing person doesn't beat me up. If you
She's
want to
ready,
text
isn't she?
Legendary, text Legendary, which is the name of our book,
Okay.
844-858-4154. Text Legendary to 844-958-4154. Whichever one of those
Okay.
works better for you.
Okay.
Reach out to us, and we'd love to chat with you. We'd love to chat with you.
Thank you.
Anybody that wants to level up their business, their success, their life, their relationships, and walk it with other ambitious people who want to not only be elite in business, but elite in life, welcome home. We'd love to have you. We've got a whole bunch of retreats and events coming up. We got a cool event at Lake Lanier Islands in Georgia that's going to be fantastic. Come do an adventure with us, come do a retreat with us, or come do our Your Life, Your Legend event. It's 2 days of just pure goodness in a beautiful place. We'd love to have you.
Yes, I have everything marked, believe me, in my emails of what I want to do. I can't wait to meet you in person.
A lot of goodness coming up. Yes,
Your
they're
team must be,
amazing.
they must be, because they love my Pow Pow shoes. So what is your version of your Pow Pow shoes? And you can answer that however you'd like.
I'm going to own this because I come from super humble beginnings, but I'm just going to own, I've got some bouginess to me. Especially now that I know the other, like once you fly first class, you can't unknow the air is different up there.
Yes.
I remember the first time I got upgraded, I'm like, my God, they have actual glass up here.
I know, real silverware.
Who knew? They don't throw it at you. But my Pow Pow shoes, and you and I had a great conversation about this, is when I'm standing in front of a group of humans, whether I'm keynoting someone else's event or running one of our retreats or experiences or conferences, is the way a nice watch feels on my wrist. It's just my Pow Pow shoes. It gives me courage. It gives me confidence. I'm proud of it because I had to earn everything that I have in my life. And I have 2 watches that I wear. And I just feel really good when they're owned because they're elegant, they're classy, they're craftsmen. And I feel like what we do is a craft, and I work really hard at the craft. So it really makes me feel special. And that's from humble beginnings to say that. That's a very vulnerable, authentic moment for me.
Yes, it is. I'm bringing my husband when I come to a retreat. You guys you just have to meet. He would have given the same answer, the same exact
the watch.
The watch. And it took, this is second marriage for both of us. We were married 16 years when we were married 16 and a half years, because we made it like past the first one. Right. We went shopping and we went shopping for a watch. And it just, thanks. And just, he will always still touch it and feel it. And just like the humble beginnings. And then it makes a difference when he puts it on, he stands up straighter. So I've never had that answer before. And
it's incredible memory and experience too.
It's a connecting answer. It's a very connecting answer. I can't wait to meet you. Okay. We need a journal prompt for our listeners because they come to expect it.
Yeah, I'm going to do a journal prompt. I'm going to do a legendary challenge.
Okay.
And here's the prompts. And you'll know the immediate answer. What's the one thing in your life that you need to immediately give up to make your life significantly better? What's the one thing in your life that you need to immediately give up to make your life significantly better? And then I'm got to end on a positive. And what's the one thing that you need to add to your life to make it significantly better? The getting rid of something, self-talk or a bad habit or a human being or any kind of, you know what it is. We don't have to go through it. All of us have one. And what is it we need to give up? And then really ask yourself, why are you not giving that up? And that's where your deepest, probably the work needs to be done. And then ask yourself, what is it you need to add? Maybe it's listening to a great book or more podcasts like this. Is it a gratitude practice? Maybe walking in nature. Just what do you need to add to make your life significant? Like just one thing, and then journal about why you're not doing or adding those one things. That's where the work will be done.
So incredibly powerful. And you're right. I know everybody who heard the journal prompt immediately had a thought. I did.
Yep.
It was immediate.
You
don't even have to second guess it. No, you can't.
That's called awareness.
Yes.
Now you got to do something about it.
Now we get to choose if we're going to transform, right?
That's right.
Life is short. Choose wisely. That's right.
That's it. That's it.
That is my entire business is built on that. Life is short. Choose wisely. It's not a rehearsal.
wisely.
We get one time through. Choose wisely. Don't let
Yeah.
fear drive the
Do or
boat.
do not.
That's right. Oh, this has been so fabulous. You're one of my new favorite people in the world. And I can't wait to meet you. And I really can't thank you enough for hanging out with us today on Coffee and Tea with CarrieVee. Thank you.
Carrie, it's been my honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.